Okay, so we're going to cover the back cover of the book now. This is just decorative paper, and I'm going to use the width of a ruler as my overlap. So I'm just going to create a corner. So this is obviously the back. Like that. Okay, and we're going to be sticking that down there. So obviously it overlaps on all the corners. So we'll just cut this to size. You've got to make sure that you don't accidentally cut the wrong pencil mark, and then you cut it too small. So that's going to go in there like that. Okay, so with this, we're going to paste it first. You always put the glue on the paper rather than on the cardboard, because the paper will absorb the glue and get bigger, and then as it dries it will shrink, and it shrink nice and tight. But if you put the glue on the board, then it would expand on the board and go wrinkly. So you put the glue on the paper, and I'm only going to just put glue on the inner bit. You'll see why, where I've drawn around it. It doesn't matter, it's best if you overlap, but try not to go all the way to the edge. So we're using paste, starch paste for this, which is Bookbinder starch paste. It has a neutral pH, and this particular one that I use also has some PVA in it, just to help it move a bit. Okay, so I'll place that in the right place. And then we need to bone it down really, really well through a clean piece of paper. Just make sure your piece of paper is clean. You do it through a piece of paper because then you don't mark that nice decorative paper. And making sure we're gluing it right to the edges. There you are. That's what that's going to look like. And we'll keep going. And we're then going to use that corner cutter. And we can use it for this, to cut the corners. So this is why I didn't get glue too much on the edges to begin with, because it means that this paper's a lot easier to cut, because it's harder to cut wet paper. Okay, so make sure there's no glue where you're going to put it. So the way to do these is you do either the long or the short sides first. So I'm just going to do the long sides first. And you bring it up with the paper. So you actually bone it through the paper like that. Make sure you've got a good sharp crease so it's glued against the edge. Then you bring it over, stretch it around. There we go. So we know we've got glue there. So I'm going to be really careful where I do this. So I'm going to bring it along this way a bit. Same thing, bone it through the newspaper. Keep it nice and tight as you go over. Again, I'm moving down the page so I don't get glue anywhere. Let's see if I can zoom in on this bit. So here, hopefully you can see, I'm just going to fold that corner in there and fold this corner in here before I bring this up. That gives you a lovely neat corner. And finally, same thing again. Let's use the point of the bone folder to fold those corners in. There we go. So that's going to be the back cover of our book.